Map 3, Mirage, it's where we find out who will finally be eliminated. No more second chances. NKT have both won out into this match. For us today.
Our three in the ESL Challenger League Asia Division playoffs that have gone all three maps as well. So who better than the rivals within the region, NKT on the defensive end, and XigN actually trying to face forward inside of the apartments. My roles can do nothing to support and will be able to at least keep them busy for at least a little while longer. XigN gets only the one as well, so 1-4-3 is not ideal. IHC can move in for a safe plant. They've got the 4-on-2.
But so Strange finds Turbo as well, 4-on-1. Now erkaSt, as good as he may have been in the previous one, no chances here whatsoever. Fast start to things from IHC on Mirage. Let's not forget they did have some struggles closing up this run, so let's put it that way. Both maps so far have had NKT start off with a 6-0 lead, so maybe this is IHC finally bucking the trend.
Yeah, maybe they're due a nice early cushion themselves. I think that's how the universe works. Gotta work hard for all of these rounds. Another fast play here from IHC. They converge on this B bomb site where there is nobody home. NKT went for the stack on the A side instead with the USPs and find nothing. 50% of the time, the A stack works every time.
Indeed. Statistically accurate. That's what Michael is. That's something I always appreciate about you. That being said, though, Blitz got out, taken down. And this is where you have to make sure that you produce Galeals and the like. Techno and Cabal able to put a stop to those shenanigans, although it does look like XigN should be able to save this one forward.
Hey, it's a free kill. Oh my god.
Oh, worst way to give it up as well. So much extra money.
Yeah, might just be able to hold on to that AK into the follow-up round as well. So great job there from erkaSt. Score was so laser focused on hunting down these players in deep T spawn. erkaSt will go down afterwards though. Pretty damaging round, all things considered. No real investment here from NKT, but they still find 2. And like you said, the extra money for erkaSt's back pocket is a nice lining.
They won't be going for the op off the back of it. Annihilation will still have to wait a while longer. Or if he goes for one at all. Already talked about how his AK can be pretty damn phenomenal as well.
erkaSt did afford the AWP into XigN's possession though, because of the knife. So they can get that ball rolling nice and early.
Also nice to see them go for the Woxic boost initially. I don't know if that's actually called the Woxic boost, but it's just what we call it here in South Asia. The faster apartments boost up for the op.
Yeah, it's hard to say who came up with it first, huh?
Always the issue with naming things. Other than Coldzer's jumping scout. That feels like it's pretty unanimous with Mirage. Dobu moves in, 4 is gone. Dobu tried it out very quickly. Now this is where XigN has to be careful. He wasn't expected. The second player staggered from CET, but he's still able to only get 1. erkaSt hoping to make more than that happen as he moves past the smoke. Annihilation as well, going full wide. Finds him on the stairs at a second on top of it as well. 9, the early op boost will find him nothing. Now he has to do it in the retake of all things.
Knows one that was repositioning over towards ramp, so that's confirmation that one's within the site and one is outside. Late repositioning from Techno could certainly be a way to pull things off, but XigN's unsure about whether this bomb has the bomb planter itself has actually escaped into spawn or not. Techno's given enough room to get himself into Palace, and XigN, this should be an angle he's not expecting. Retaking will be very difficult. Doesn't have a kit as well to make this feasible. That's dropped within the bomb site, and XigN's tapping out. So IHC can get on the board with a 3rd round. It's the Annihilation 4K that spurs them on. So he can do great stuff with the rifle, and he shows exactly that. Nothing caught him off guard.
Also some quite positioning and spacing coming out where he's always in a position to trade out. Sure, he loses 2 of his teammates to XigN and the initial CT player as well, but As long as he's able to get the response, it's fine.
Yeah, IHC will make that trade. Well, XigN and Dobu, I believe the initial CT player, but with the saved AWP from 9, he's trying to get some fancy moves going, and he was a little delayed. But out too late, and Blitz will punish him, so that ult finds nothing. Moving into round number 4. Again, a fast B split. And there will be XigN up close. Mirage P250 does land the dink, but it's not enough to finish off a kill. I'm liking the difference pace here from IHC entering Mirage. Gone with a more accelerated schedule than we saw on Ancient. Even on Inferno, they were very slow.
When they tried one round where they went fast up short, they just got dominated.
It feels like they're very much limit testing the defenses of NKT to start off this third map.
As opposed to Ancient, where it felt like they were testing their own limits of patience.
Mm-hmm.
How far can we go before we never pick this map again?
Best part is that they actually have a good track record on Ancient. Domestically and even against Chinese teams. 16-14 against YK.
I think part of that also comes down to in the past teams used to pick against them. So you
there's actually quite a lot of 16-14s in here.
Yeah, it's really close when you actually look towards maps where they especially start off to the T side. It's really some firepower rounds here and there which gets them through, but nowhere near enough where you can feel comfortable in the first pick material.
Something to refine before Rio.
Initial incendiary will block off that smoke. erkaSt has a sideline, but he missed it. Oh no. Mirage covers it off regardless. Mirage gets himself 3. Another player who we've been giving a lot of credit out to, maybe unexpected credit.
2-on-5 here for IHC to somehow bail out of, and it will be difficult. They were reliant on an Annihilation 4K in one of these previous rounds, but on the AWP, out of the apartments, it's very difficult. Still 4 players in close proximity there from NKT, but the important thing is that they do have the bomb, so options are still open to re-navigate to the other side if they so choose. See Techno exploring before Annihilation makes his choice. In fact, you might just say, Techno, do your own thing. I got my own business to take care of.
It's all about getting that extra damage, and really split up seems more likely that you're going to be able to find maybe one apiece, get traded out, sure, but at least try for it.
Annihilation built different, unfortunately. Too much booty, and XigN makes sure to punish it. That's bomb dropped in the apartment, so Techno has no real chance of winning this round. Could get his hands on the 9 AWP, though.
Would be nice to even save this AK, though, to be honest. He will just end up walking into 9's crosshair. Techno had a lot of money, so would have been able to purchase up utility regardless, and obviously this is their first loss, so 1,400, it's not exactly much to take home. I would have liked to save on both of these players, to be honest, but going back towards Mirage, I thought that when erkaSt missed out at the timing on the initial one, Mirage is surely going to fall, but he does show up, and it's nice to see him being able to deliver when he's being put in so many crucial positions. I mean, look at Inferno, he's playing the A-side anchor. On Ancient, he's playing mid. Now he's playing B short.
Yeah. These are not easy positions. But Mirage definitely still hitting hard.
Oh, he flashes and it's a palace pop coming through, and they've got all the entries necessary. So much control. Giving up 9, trying to move back over from jungle, but the missed shot and a Molotov to follow up. 9's got no more chances to develop sight lines into A. And he's left in 2-on-5. This time, NKT will be safe.
Yeah, and after the reinvestment here from IHC to survive with all, or at least the brunt of their players, they won't survive with every single one of them. Techno getting hunted, or going hunting rather, for these saving weapons does go down, and there might even be more here for IHC. But to have such a healthy reinvestment and win the round so handily, it's good signs here for the Mongolian squad. Nine's gun is gone, and Nine will be hunted down afterwards as well. The flash was great. The AWP recovered for Annihilation's hands. And I actually do wonder whether this might be to their detriment. We saw just how difficult it was for Annihilation to work with Techno on the AWP last time over. It's some good rifle stuff from the IHC AWPer.
On the bright side, he does have a fantastic spawn though. So there is that to at least keep in mind. Now he's going to be going for the pick down mid. This is going to be crucial because Nine is slightly slow to it. Flashes and smokes are there. He's realizing that all he can really do is try and go for the Molotov in deep. There's no one here to help him boost up or anything like that either. So no OP duels should be taking place soon. Very heavy presence out from short. Mirage with a flashlight to help out. It's actually Score who ends up blinding his own teammate. Mirage even drops down for more, but he's blind as well. Nine! So many team flashes coming out from either side.
Yeah, that looked like a miscommunication there between what they wanted to do and what they could facilitate. Nine threw that flash, and Mirage just ate it. I can admire the commitment. He still decided to drop with it, to be fair. But now clearing out the entirety of B has erkaSt, so they should have a bit of an inkling that this A site should see siege. See XigN making his way over, recovering the HE as well. That could certainly help out. This will be additional delay tactics for the IHC setup, and erkaSt even cutting down Blitz before he can get that smoke out towards stairs. Actually, no, it just narrowly left his hands in time, so they actually do have the full execute here on IHC, but Dobu's still chopping them down. Yeah, they're stuck at the ramp. They can't get out. Not too safely. Cabal's all that's left, and he will go traded, so NKT with the second.
Freebie for erkaSt is definitely helping out in that regards. Being able to catch them off is crucial. It looked like a fantastic start to the round when Marius gets the first and is set up for the second there, given a longer lease on life courtesy of Blitz getting the kill via team flash from Nine, but even so. Marius has been impressive so far. Now, 2 rounds where he's managed to give a very solid advantage up against guns and in different ways as well, not just holding down, now pushes out aggressively. He's willing to go for so many plays. Again, just to reiterate, this doesn't look like a player who hasn't been playing for 2 years.
Yeah, he's been in and out of sort of mixed teams, and I think he might have even competed with Kents for a national competition where it was all about assembling 5 of the same sort of nationality, because he is Thai, so is Kents.
Indeed, that is
so
true.
He's not been completely inactive, but he's not been a part of any real sort of competitive squad within the region. That's challenging for titles and European opportunities.
I mean, I tried to look for his FACEIT profile through Wikipedia, but he's changed his name, so I don't actually know what it is now. I just assume that he's maintaining anonymity. Alright, the blitz is good. Grenade to follow up. Nine's initial damage will be able to go through. Myro's caught out this time, though. Techno's able to come in from the side, and Annihilation facing down XigN. It's time to try and rotate. He's already caught out. Techno's moved fast his first crosshair placement. That is going to be, once again, the seed he's trying to save, or is it Dobu? So close to market.
Yeah, I mean, this should be another save. 100%. When they lose the entry, it just feels like they lose too much too quickly here on NKT. So many times that they've attacked the A site. We've been really watching from Nine's perspective a lot, just how he's trying to get engaged in the action, but always arriving just as IHC have taken too much ground. This happened again over on the B-bomb site. So this will be a 6-3 for IHC. They do lose 1 more on the exit, but continue to prioritize their own money as well, because it's not ideal. By saving these 2 weapons, they can at least facilitate a buy.
No up though.
No up indeed. And we've been putting a lot of spotlight on Mirage because he has big shoes to fill, and he's certainly been doing a commendable job. But that's one of the areas where he does get caught out by not expecting them to be off short. He got the He could have heard the sound cues, I think, a little bit sooner, but maybe not realizing that they were going to be hunting for him specifically. And by the time he realized, I mean, just late to adjust his aim.
full execute towards the B-bomb side coming in. XigN and Myro is going to try and hold it down, and with the initial double kill that they're able to find, this is going to be a huge boon. Annihilation still wants to commit to wait for any sort of a jump spot, or XigN going for information, but XigN is going to be as veteran savvy as always. Crouched away in the corner waiting for them to make the move, and as soon as Annihilation is mollied back off, XigN is confident in his decision to stay defensive.
Annihilation getting spammed by both Myrals and erkaSt alike. Not ideal. Blitz actually jumped away from B much earlier than the rest of the squad. See if you maybe catch somebody unaware. Smoke fading bottom con and 9. Well, that's a sitter of a frag. Nice and clean there from Score, at least in response, but additional confirmation on where he is last seen, and Myrals will nail him.
Really impressive duel coming out over there. Annihilation misses out the slim diving window that maybe it could have been. Myrals just goes full wide, and again, after the initial defense, continues to be a significant factor.
Yeah, even got their hands on the Annihilation AWP, so that makes its way into 9's hands. This is a pretty contested opening bout. But IHC built a nice little cushion for themselves at the start of this half, so they still maintain a lead. Down to Galil's, Tech 9s, and a singular AK here on the Mongolian squad, and they want to go for an A-side exec as fast as possible.
Interesting way of lining up the ballast smoke, but Blitz is going to be blocked out by it. So many great flashes, but no one's clearing. A bit too late. erkaSt will get at least the one, but the T advantage is maintained. It is a smoke from 9 that'll keep him at least somewhat mobile inside jungle, but a bomb plant is guaranteed, and they can try to retreat back into Palace. There's enough utility available for the CTs, though, where they feel like they need to take TOs, and they are winning them out.
And that's given a freebie nice and quick. They are going to be calling a save here, and with Myrals being dealt with. Nice shot there from Annihilation. Yeah, 9 will back himself away. And Blitz is already kind of spread out for a hunt here.
Oh, you should be able to find him over here. Blitz has heard it for sure. 9 on the other side, pulls out the ops, goes forward, and Blitz just wins the duel outright. Has had his struggles so far this series in a few different maps, but so far this one is looking good.
I feel like this is the same AWP that survived 4 or 5 different round winners. Just keeps ending up in separate hands, so I think this is Annihilation's ult to begin with. He gets it back. NKT's money broken though, and down onto pistols. Should be a round builder. Should as well secure the half victory here for IHC. You can see they're contacting out, and this is the weaker of the two sides to hit. Nobu full flashed, and Blitz, that's an easy one.
Could say the same with Sports trying to move in. There's too many players to get with. No way does he want to try and let them get close and line up against him. There's different verticalities as well. Even the pistols are going to take you down in that spot. So wait for some backup, chucks down a Molotov, makes sure about his life decisions, calls his mom, asks whether it's okay for him to win this round, and there you go.
Couple swings at it there from erkaSt, but unable to replicate the same performance he had on Ancient. He's come into this game a little colder, but I don't think we expected that to be sustainable. IHC up to 8, and NKT will be able to buy up into this follow-up round, but again, they are missing out on that AWP. Looking to take it from Annihilation's hands. If that was to be the case. These will be around to do it. Oh my god. Came out late, swinging from underpass, and 9 will try and get him out of there, but they just all suffer the same fate. The only one that survives is Myro, off short, and he decides to re-challenge. Flash was actually thrown by Score himself to blind him up for that duel. But it's
Really?
a slaughter in mid.
Wasn't it a flash from XigN? Maybe not.
Would have
Yes.
expected it, but
No, XigN's got 3 pieces of utility, and You know, he's obviously used the incendiary already, so he shouldn't have had a flashbang unless, I don't know, someone dropped it to him.
And Score still has 2 flashes? I don't know. I do trust our kill feed a little too much sometimes. It didn't show up as a XigN flash.
Probably a Dobu flash, to be honest. XigN will, however, in the meanwhile, find Blitz, take him down. And with how aggressive XigN was, it's not unfeasible that IHC just decides that, all right, fine, you know what, we don't want to mess with the B-bomb site, let's go to A. And that's where Dobu's off angle could also cast them off. Dobu's also very aggressively deep to sandwich, where he's realized the location of multiple players is around top mid. That's what XigN is re-navigating towards. So he's not going to be holding on towards that forward-facing position. Instead, it's a 2v3 where both of these players are caught between two worlds. Do we save or do we go? And with the market smoke here and XigN moving right back over to B, Molotov, flashbang, XigN could make this massive hole. They're dropping down, but the bomb can't be dropped. XigN, unable to find the frag, and Techno just wins out this round for them. IHC, that is a lot closer than it looks.
Tobu's still challenging for it. Their money is burned either which way, and so hoping that these players are low enough. Dobu makes his presence known, and Annihilation will find him. Just now 1 shy of double digits are IHC. Annihilation even wasting a nade. Could have dropped that over to somebody instead. The sheer audacity. NKT are looking very, very much worse for wear here on our 3rd and final map. Again, they are fighting for survival to continue into these playoffs. IHC have already qualified for other ventures. We expect to see them in Brazil soon enough. But NKT don't have those same opportunities.
Oh, early dink onto Cabal. Maybe Myros has something set up for him, but misses a miss. With XigN being the only person to collect a casualty. 10-3. IHC are front running very hard right now.
Yeah, first 2 maps they were always fighting from behind, but not on Mirage. They decide to ditch the handicap. And aiming for pars. Well, even below par. Again, I don't know enough about golf either. To
See,
really
maybe you should have started off with it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not a clever man.
Sometimes I doubt that any of us are. Score. As aggressive as he has managed to find himself being, it's really my roles to cut him off completely. So tunnel vision into connector, where 9 was in a completely defensible position. That gets caught out by the late short peek.
Considering how much success they've had over at the A-bomb site, I'm surprised they are biased to B at the moment. Hoping that they can just deal with XigN and bypass my rolls. We have actually been targeting the coach's bomb site a number of times. He's put up some commendable performances. Now the util sails out, and the damage onto Cabal is significant, but XigN is gone in an instant. Myrolls playing off of short, does deal with Cabal, and unable to connect on the second. So 3-on-3, but reinforcements is here for NKT. They just can't stop the plant, and Annihilation cutting down those numbers even thinner. The tags on both Blitz and Annihilation, they're weak in the knees, but it's still not enough to deal with these players entirely. And with Techno going down, that's the healthy player dealt with.
Dobu's not going to realize that Annihilation's actually watching out for him, though. He's been given information, Annihilation backed off afterwards. Now, obviously, still have to check it, and Dobu does exactly that. He's going to be checking every angle, but Blitz with 10 HP is still alive. The grenade has been dodged, and the bomb is implanted for him. Dobu knows it as well. He's going for the full deep. He's going to burn it. Blitz not get the spray down, and wow. That is a savior of a round from Dobu.
Yeah, great effort to go in for this retake. They knew that these players were not the healthiest. Even with Blitz surviving in the 1v1, just the cojones to just go in and stick that bomb instead of just trying to capitalize on that frag. So it's kind of set in for Blitz that he was going to go and try and sneak that one away from him, and he just couldn't convert on the spray. Might just be redeemable here for NKT. Get up to 5 and you're cooking with gas. Oh.
Trade is very fast.
An angle,
regardless.
yeah, an angle that's typically unexpected, I think, especially when they pulled it out so late in the half, but Score was pretty ready for it. It's a great spot for 9.
Should be able to get this one for free. Blitz is gone, and he's given out the bomb as well. 9 doesn't actually go far enough for him to be able to check that, but the T's can't know it. So they have to treat this bomb as if it is in full control of CT side. Deep jungle Molotov comes out. There are 2 players playing out from connector and short. Good catch. Oh my days! Annihilation. Man, that's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, Cabal finally gets confirmation that they're not sitting on top of that package, so can make his way over with that bomb. Annihilation going up close and personal, trying to shotgun ult it, and does at least draw out another player into the bomb site. XigN making his way to triple. Don't know that he was spotted, but they're suspicious.
They're rare for the timing at the very least, but no incendiaries to try and force him out. They have to take these duels head on. In the meanwhile, Mirage is actually maybe even looking to reposition, but XigN comes out and falls. Mirage has to reposition, but he had the time to do so. Smoke back to connector. And as he starts to move through, the flashbang will keep him fully blinded out. He's forced to go right back over. Looks like 11 simply deaths in, and Annihilation will guarantee it. What a round from him as IHC dominate that first half. NKT feeling a bit glum. We'll have to wait to see whether they can get anything done in the second, back after a short break. Dominant performance from IHC and NKT are left wondering what they're going to do. And guess what? They're wondering the exact same thing. Pistol round's going to be coming out, and it is a focus.
Yeah, so imperative that they win this pistol round here on NKT. IHC have a little bit more wiggle room, but you can see that the way they're set up, that A-side attack is going to be coming in now. Smokes are out, flashes as well. They want to descend out of Palace, but a lot of damage being dealt onto these players as they come on out. Score as well, plucking down the numbers, but will get traded. Can't quite escape through the smoke, and the flash CT is brilliant. A 4-on-3 now for them to work off of this plant.
Cabal's so very far away as well, so at the very least, this shouldn't be a cleaner round unless you're able to get through with a few big taps, and it was already eliminated one of the rotators. These two are bunched up. Techno trying to get up close and personal, can't find the CT player, and as the retreat comes through, Annihilation will find erkaSt. XigN trades out, Annihilation still alive, but I don't know how much longer we'll be able to say that. NKT find the 5th, and they have taken the first step in a long road back.
Got the entrance they wanted, and while it was a staggered execute, they just wanted to make sure they had the flashes well timed with the Palace players, and it was indeed. Had all the util they needed to take additional space afterwards as well. IHC weren't in great spots to defend against the site hit. They had limited utility themselves, so even delay tactics wasn't available. They just went with, well, I think they ended up with 5 armors in that round. So they wanted to take fights. The fight was taken to them instead, though. You see a force buy here from IHC in response. Cabal patented shotgun user.
If there's one player you can rely on picking that one up, it is definitely him.
So few shotgun specialists these days.
Instant extinguishing.
It's connected in middle, so they don't have to worry about any sort of extra pressure on a 3-pronged assault here from NKT. It's just Ramp and Palace that they have to be fixated on, and Techno's just trying to keep himself alive. Found eventually, and now trying to make some progress. NKT are getting closer and closer to challenging the connector players, but Annihilation finds a great timing, but cannot hit the shot.
Would have been big if he could. Mirage is taking so much space away inside between him and XigN. They've got all access towards this A-bomb site. If Annihilation had found the kill, maybe it could have been a big setup for Score to come back into, but unfortunately now even he seems to be detected. Dobu, an eye has been kept out continually. Score, however, will hear that flashbang being shot forward. Now without utility, you'd think that Dobu would be laser focused in, and he was. He gets the headshot, but it's not going to be enough. Score now with 9 HP left. Nothing really to do here, but at the very least, he's picked up a Galil and can threaten the save.
Does he know these players are as low as they are? I don't think so. This can certainly do some more damage to the NKT economy moving into the next round. Albeit they wouldn't be on a by themselves to respond in any sort of meaningful fashion here on IHC, but try to keep the money modest is the mantra I live by. That's why my bank account is always so empty.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also it's also a little bit of a mood point anyway, because they're probably gonna farm up afterwards anyway.
That is true.
Which is always what you'd think, that hey, I'll just get to some more casting, it's fine. So
eventually.
There you go. See, Michael took the phrase "live the way you want to live" a little bit too literally. You know, it's supposed to be aspirational, Michael, work related, not a. Hey, let's make the purchase of a CEO.
My best life over here.
Ain't that the truth?
Undetected descent into underpass here by Blitz, and he's here quick. Nobody's actually gone to consider it just yet. Not until 9 decided to jiggle, and that was the bomb. So at least it's getting some confirmation, at the very least, of which site would be the attacked area. But Score's Galil was identified early, so they may even just call it quits.
Yeah, they figured out.
Feel too threatened.
They figured out that it could have been a B stack, and they are going to just move back, reset, and hope that they can find the solitary CT pushing player that there generally is in a position akin to this. One Molotov, lots of flashes. So if you go back over towards his B bomb site, gotta be careful. Score leading into mid. Dobu ends up dishing out the same fate that he himself was dealt earlier on. Gets a headshot, but the other player gets a hit.
Yeah, and no more prospect for the round there. IHC. 3 rounds in a row. Good foundation to build off of. But now the IHC buy can come in, and they have to make sure not to let this stand in their way. I think you said it was a long path to recovery here for NKT coming into the second half, but there's high aspirations themselves, I'm sure. Closing that gap, threatening, and actually putting that pressure onto IHC about whether or not they can find solutions quick enough. And that's still far away from reality.
The one thing you also have to keep in mind is Annihilation is on a heater. And now that he's got the AWP, look, you've lost 2 rounds and then he's on a 2 KD. That's kind of nuts. Continuation of that might be a question mark, though.
Yeah, it feels like a good time here for IHC when Annihilation and Score are both coming in with some pretty good strides on this map. You know, you're kind of looking at players like Dobu and Nine having good performances for the NKT squad, which they have been able to find some impact in these rounds, but have not been leading from the front.
Well, we've actually got a bit of a technical timeout going on right now, so we've got to go to a short break. When we're back, though, we will be waiting to see whether Annihilation can indeed take control of this up. Back into things we go. Like we said, the conversation was all about the Annihilation AWP. Now we also have to have the conversation about whether or not NKT can stop it. Interestingly enough, I believe that the round reset his position from the best possible spawn for mid to one of the worst, so instead he's gone back to the B apartment to try and take the Woxic peak in the meanwhile.
There won't be anybody challenging him on the other side of it, though, so that ult will be moot. They are moving fast and towards the safe side, and the Score, you can see, he knows that Connector would have been initially run over. Annihilation still getting a kill onto erkaSt on the B lurk, but this aggression over towards A is not being as fruitful as NKT were hoping for. They're down a man.
Dobu finding the player who's trying to just spam out of jungle is massive. He's able to get so much more space that they need to be a little bit more careful as they move through, and they don't know he's repositioned back to connector. Cabal is a freebie, but in the meanwhile, a flashbang will sail right past Score. He'll get this one himself for free. XigN has been tagged up heavily. Only a sliver of HP left, and the bomb still not planted. Seems like NKT do not have a chance at this one. XigN will have to try and back off, see if he can circle around, get a quick shot to the back of Annihilation's head, and if he can, maybe then he has a chance in the round.
Yeah, he's hoping to do something so unexpected that IHC are caught wondering, and he might find a great opportunity to do so. You see how fixated Annihilation is forward onto that A bomb site, but like you said, that backstab might just come out. Techno's looking to try and save him from that endeavor, but XigN is spotted, and that means that Annihilation could have had him dead to rights, but no, XigN pulls it off. It's a 1-on-3 for NKT.
Huge round for XigN to come through upon. That is just a lack of communication coming out from IHC. It seems like they didn't know that he was as low as he was. Don't need to be tunneled in with the AWP in that way, but low player checks it, and he suffers. That's the problem with having one of your players as low as he was in that 1v3 like you mentioned.
Jeez, I didn't think that was going to be as successful as it was, but XigN showing that veterancy, and, you know, he's so good at finding ways to mind game his opponent. He's a very patient player, usually doing what erkaSt was set to do in that execute. Fighting from behind, and he loves a little clutch. From heroics to humor. XigN was the first casualty, but there is at least a response. It did come at a heavy cost to XigN's HP, but making sure things don't get out of hand too quick. That was the only rifle they had to worry about.
No flashes available either for IHC, so it's not like you're going to be expected to be flashed in to buy a Deagle or an MP9 peak, something like it. The economy on the team side is slightly rocked and rolled as well, so you want to make sure you're keeping your players nice and healthy, though it doesn't look like, even if NKT wins this round, it doesn't look like it should be possible for them to save more than 2 players, with XigN's HP being what it is at the moment, and both sides having 2 apiece in some very tricky to deal with positions. Score close range on the MP9, and Cabal is covering off and maybe even playing first contact. Jiggles it out, spots out the players there. Score set up for success. Good for the first, can't follow up with more. Now, Blitz, as he starts to move in for a rotate, it is covered off by Mirage. Techno's the only person left to try and deal damage.
Might be good timing. No. Techno just narrowly missing Mirage, repositioning onto short. Make the jump, and it's pretty successful, but Mirage is there to cover it off once again. Aren't exactly the hardest looking kills there for Mirage, but played a pivotal role in just securing the round here for NKT, limiting their damage as well. Like you said, their money was pushed just a tad. XigN had, I think, quite a lot of funds built up, but the rest of the squad not so healthy. That wasn't a full investment from IHC. We see the buy again with the AWP in Annihilation's hands. XigN can challenge this time at distance, though the AWP wasn't as threatening as you might have expected in previous rounds. In fact, that AWP is dealt with rather quickly by XigN.
Score has gone as well in the meanwhile. This is quickly turning into such a swift NKT comeback. The only blip in the radar was quickly crossed out by XigN's 1v3 as well. erkaSt now from the side activates, and sure, Cabal is good for 1, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Falling apart all over the place.
Yeah, losing a lot of individual duels, but NKT are loving it. Like you said, closing that gap. We entered this half 11-4. This is 6 rounds in a row here for NKT. They've been good at getting these 6-0 runs. Don't even think Techno could save this M4. NKT are spreading out to hunt for him. Only thing that would top off this round is a team ace. It has to be Dobu, and he's very far away. There's no way they've double crunched into Palace, and he just happens to be ramp.
Managed to
Wow.
keep his gun alive somehow. Okay. Wow.
They were so
Unfortunately,
convinced he'd go into the Palace.
unfortunately, it's the duels that he wins that don't matter. I would like to have someone else winning those duels earlier on. But this continued aggression coming out from IHC, where they're boosting into B apartments, is actually not finding them anything at all. Very often it leaves Annihilation on an island if he is the one going for it with the op. Elsewise, you sometimes lose a duel. Techno, smooth criminal that he is with the movement. Flash has been missed over at mid as well, and they're taking this opportunity to get aggressive with both Techno and Blitz covering this off. Great first duel to find, and with utility being rained down towards apartments, they can't even try and make a fast play to take advantage of the additional presence in mid.
Yeah, losing mid so quickly means that they have to reset effectively here from NKT. They need to show map pressure to keep IHC guessing. And so if they just simply sat inside the B apartments, there was an opportunity for IHC to just simply cut off options, limit them and box them in to the B area. We didn't actually see them take those aggressive routes, but NKT had to wonder. They are making their way off short and done so without being detected. They can actually split this B bomb site rather quickly.
CT should be able to find Myrals at the very least, as he is going to be waiting behind the smoke and he dissipates, but Myrals fades it out perfectly. erkaSt as well. Good for another quick one. He is traded, but Blitz is taking the opportunity to actually move past the Molotov. Another duel out in the open makes it an even situation. The CTs will be forced to rotate back after the bomb's already planted, and the Ts are very well into post-plant positions. But the question is, can Nine find this shot? No. Misses his chance.
All about whether Score can get his kill. Nine's holding his position, and Nine, if he misses again, that would have been it. But no, Annihilation will drop just after as well. They tie it up 11-11. This is a 7-0 run here from NKT to tie things in a situation where IHC, after such a good first half, thought they might have been able to put this one away.
I still cannot believe NKT's success on the T side in these opening duels. It is just something else. Sure, obviously, with the exception of the 1v3 that Nine pulls out.
The one that kept this train going. I'm on the rails. Oh, wow. Flashes are great. Blitz wanted a challenge towards top mid, but will be denied that. The entries continue to be successive over to the B side, and this time it's Myrals. Stand-in coach on 19 kills, leading the NKT squad.
Oh, Zon's even gone and found Annihilation. Meanwhile, this is a very clean round coming out. T-side's going to be able to keep their money incredibly healthy. That's one thing that hasn't necessarily been the most robust across all players, but it's in a decent place where they should have a buy or two afterwards anyway. But with this round, if you can keep 4 alive here, you're eating good.
Even if Techno wanted to somehow sneak his way onto the bomb, he wouldn't have enough time. Would have had to make noise running up the underpass to the apartments, and Nine is in earshot. Techno does get his hands on an M4 and can slither away. Maybe? No. No weapons to save here for IHC. NKT in the lead. Been trailing the whole game. And now in the driver's seat, IHC have found no response. And you think, first 4 rounds, first 5 rounds, maybe you cut them some slack, saying, okay, you're still processing, trying to find the right setup that works for you. But 8 rounds in a row, and when they were so close in that 3-on-1 against XigN as well, that's got to be deflating. No real mid-focus here from NKT this time over. We've seen how much of a priority this has been for IHC in past rounds, whether it's been Blitz fighting on the mid-floor alongside having some underpass pressure.
With the double up against him, maybe it's best that NKT doesn't go for mid. 3 players so aggressively postured. Getting ready. Oh, this could be the perfect call. This could be everything. Kabal's got an AWP. It might seem like it's a good idea to have that against a rush, but not when you're playing from Van. If NKT go for a fast ball through, flashes being good would be massive. And now, as they get the initial tag, they're getting ready to line up utility. Score does have an incendiary, so if you can get that down in time before the T's are actually able to drop, maybe that's a difference maker. Maybe that's where things can be a little bit more tricky. But Score isn't deploying it yet. He's repositioning.
They might not throw the same flash because of Annihilation's presence in connector.
Oh, they're able to get the trade regardless, though. And Score over here. He's going to line them up. Beautiful shots from the man himself. A molly to his feet, but by the time it comes through, he is already safe and sound. 15 seconds, and NKT will have to save. This was looking to be maybe a timing for them to cut them off completely, but the wait only.
Yeah, Annihilation did box them in, but the round is done. Just as soon as NKT get into the lead, it's put back into contest once again. That was the only thing that you maybe had going for them on the side of Cabal, is that usually those flashes sail in, but once they identify where that ult was, they were expecting only the one to be in the presence of the CT side. Not that it mattered. Cabal got completely ruined, but Score was there in time. Almost like that was what they were set up for, weirdly enough. Score started transitioning over to Cabal thinking, okay, well, maybe he just dies. So that never fell out of hand. Annihilation, very different posturing and actually scoping close. They would have heard this and actually go for the wide swing. The Dobu double is fantastic. It's well timed. Blitz will try his best to keep a handle on things, but they've lost this A site too damn quick. 3 entries here for NKT. IHC are desperate.
Kabal's moved through the smoke already. Almost cuts off the bomb, actually ends up getting a wall bang, but the problem is Zion's trade makes this impossible. Score's got no chance but to save. No chance whatsoever. And let me just remind everyone, Annihilation ended 16-8 before he got the AWP on IHC side. You know, that was after we said, oh, he's 16-8. They've lost 3 rounds. He's still 16-8. That's 2 KD. He's 18-14 now. He's had nothing so far. And that's not necessarily always because he's losing rounds or he's losing duels. He is not able to find opening connections in so many rounds. He just can't get the duels. NKT are doing such a good job of navigating around him.
Yeah, his common stomping grounds haven't really been the entry points for NKT. When he's been... This is one of the few rounds where he's actually in the right spot to fight them, and he does just miss his shot. But when he's been in mid, there's been little to no presence. When he's been over at B, there's been little to no presence. And the Coles right now are navigating around that AWP pretty well. This time, way more Palace focused. They're going to try and waterfall out and hope to catch them off guard. Certainly work. No one's really holding for it. No one can really stop them from getting inside of the site. It's only the jungle player, and once he's dealt with, that might just be it. First kill is great. erkaSt with the entry, but Annihilation round triple is able to dance around, even just jumping away. Score out in the open, but there are trades right back here for IHC. This time they hold onto this site, even after dealing with the aggressive B push here from IHC. They're still committed towards the A idea, and erkaSt has even plucked it down to just 2 more players, ball making its way over.
Gotta have another one of these clutch situations going the way of NKT if you want any hope as an IHC fan. NKT, though, erkaSt has done such a good job to bring it back. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have to do the entire job on his own. Annihilation finds the crucial frag, and finally around where it feels like he is the main reason to their success. But that success is not completed just yet. erkaSt needed to adjust his crosshair with the elevated angle and the aggression. Neither of those factors expected.
Yeah, a battle of who can get the 4K first, whether it was erkaSt or Annihilation. Either of them had to step up to the plate. A critical 1v1 being won by IHC. Like you said, if you have any hopes of them coming back into this game, they needed to make sure that didn't fall out of favor. called a pause, and NKT have built up a decent amount of bank from previous successes, so they're not as heavily pressured as IHC are. The Mongolian squad needs this next round. Otherwise, NKT could just storm away into a third map win here. Continual surprises coming out of erkaSt. Just how good he is as a fragging in-game leader.
Oh no, that's for certain. I also have to wonder whether Mirage is adding in more of a voice in the meanwhile while he's playing. I would doubt it just because of how new he is to the role, but yeah, have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, how well he works with erkaSt, and does it align with their system? Because erkaSt has been with them for a few months now. It's hard to redefine. A coach in-game leader relationship is one that is talked about quite often, especially when roster moves are concerned.
Very fast out towards the B bomb site seems to be the name of the game. Have stalled for now. No presence this time from IHC in mid. After so many rounds of getting aggressive courtesy of Blitz and very often with Annihilation to back him up, they have decided against it entirely. And NKT have got the sound cues of the presence of multiple people in the B bombs at the very least too. They may have been relying on having just the one to overrun early on after how much mid presence has been a norm for the IHC side. They instead move back and they get it for free over in mid. What will they do off of it though? Because they've only got 2 smokes left to work with.
Can't beat the top connector, not too easily. Smoke will go down, and erkaSt actually got his 1-for-1 duel, but they're not even looking the right way to trade Blitz. He's down to 5 HP, but able to get his hands on a secondary frag. 9 missing out on the op shot, but we'll switch out to the Glock to finish off business. It's just the 2 players that remain here for NKT. Still playing close to the apartments, and so is Cabal with that MP9 and can be lethal at this range. He's trying to phase that smoke, and Mirage round the other corner cannot get the shot in time. Nine's just trapped on an island. Molotov will force him into the fight, and score won't fall to the AWP. It will be an IHC squeak through to 14.
And even though NKT looked like they were in a position to be able to trade out for the connector player, they just don't turn around in time. The communications seem to be so very cluttered. And I appreciate the attempt that they're going for the B bombs, the B side split there. It seems like it is the right play to make, given the fact that they've got full mid control at that stage. There's no one in window either. We even know through X-ray, but top connector smoke comes out. Connector isn't properly traded. They're so concerned about about the possible presence of the IHC player in ladder room instead, that they completely neglect the more commonly held position.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think with the way they postured up to the B bomb site at the start, they were maybe expecting that they would go back to this double AWP setup, or maybe it was Annihilation with his AWP. But like you were saying, once they got confirmation of sound cues from an MP9 and an M4 and all the series of spam, they recognized that second AWP wasn't going to be there, or that the AWP wasn't something that had to deal with on the site, because Annihilation's not shooting AWP bullets through that smoke, is he? So they tried to reset and capitalize in a different way, and kind of exploit the fact that I think they had that MP9 on that site by playing distance and coming up of short instead. Didn't work out, not because all because Blitz is a nuisance in the connector. And winning those 2 duels changed the tone of the round.
The thing is, they couldn't have had the second AWP anyway after the money that they were on. IHC won.
Yes, but we would know that. But NKT, how can might have lost track just even slightly.
I guess.
But we've seen the way that IHC have started some of these rounds. They have put Annihilation on B.
Yes, that's especially if he's got the spawn for it.
Mm-hmm. So it felt like they went to a secondary plan to adapt, but unable to make it work.
Annihilation, early kill found. 9 has forfeited his right to life on the server.
Tried to be rapid, NKT have run out of funds. This is a critical kill for Dobu to have found. Annihilation's AWP is decapitated. Now, retrieving that AWP into a future round will be difficult for IHC. Nobody else really takes up secondary AWPing duties too frequently. They can hover around it. NKT are keeping numbers together, though.
Surely they're not going to let Blitz go by neglected once again. And the Blitz with full information now about presence inside middle. There's an op scope that's been heard as well. Flash is overhead to try and threaten the push to come through. But it's erkaSt to full clear it out this time. Techno's been tagged out as well in the meanwhile, and NKT are looking to be right back on track to equalize as well, but Score might have something to say about it. He's trying to go out for another duel, but he doesn't have bullets in the chamber. Cabal left in a 1-on-3. Players are low and he should know it, but he himself isn't looking like a spring chicken either.
Oh, wow. That spam is perfect, right on top of Dobu, and he was one of the healthier ones left on NKT, so still very feasible here for Cabal, but he's so low himself. Has to be ridiculously clean on these fights. Has a smoke, has a kit, and can certainly threaten the idea that he can defuse this one out from under them. Oh, My Rolls does at least give off the jiggle, but will in fact finish off business. NKT have guaranteed we go all 30 here on Mirage.
And again, it's despite the initial kill coming out from IHC, they're just able to storm it out better. Utility was very low. IHC get the first kill and they're like, well, we're going to stall and wait in a 5v4. That doesn't necessarily work anymore. You know, that's an older style of thinking. You still need the information. You still need the map presence. And then maybe you can try and abandon it out and play more patient.
Yeah, and once they killed Annihilation, and then they just honed in on Blitz in the same spot that he got the double kill last time. Seemed like it was all too simple. Blitz opening up this round over with a mid-fight from the window. And won't stick around long. In fact, he's even swapped out to an MP9 because he's pretty much a non-factor when it comes to straight-up fights. Again, they get so much territory over toward short without any real sightlines here for IHC. This will incentivize NKT to think that they can just split this B bomb site again.
Well, with 3 players here, that would be a critical mistake. That's where you're relying on erkaSt to be able to find a bit more information to see whether he can actually find anything in the meanwhile. Deep smoke comes out, so the apartment has been locked out for another 16 seconds or so. Those 16 seconds could be used by IHC as time to explore, and for once, it feels like you might not want to have them explore. Now, admittedly, we've got full sightlines, so let's not forget that. Cabal's revealed a position. Sign around the corner. Lies in wait. erkaSt is maybe even looking to go for a flank through jungle. This could be a triple prong assault of the B bomb site. They're surely not going to be expecting that one. Score is keeping an eye out just in case, but as they start to walk in through short, now the positions are known. erkaSt is starting to move forward. Blitz is good for the first kill. It's a 3-on-5, but it is still erkaSt who has to come through and unlock this entire round. They're going so slowly. The bomb's so far away. Mirage is gone. The bomb's been dropped. erkaSt's position finally capitalized upon, but it will not matter. It is IHC to be the first to find 15. erkaSt is a dead man walking. Will be able to keep his AK alive after time, so at the very least, he's not sitting on 950 facing down elimination.
Oh, you really sweat there for NKT because they wanted that erkaSt flank to come in quick, but once the assault from the front was dealt with, erkaSt was just left wanting. No bomb, no time, not much to really hope about in this coming round as well, because yeah, sure, he keeps hold of his AK, but the rest of the squad down in the dumps. IHC might have just cracked it. This might have been the final nail in the coffin. We have had a back and forth in this series between trading map wins. NKT picked Inferno. They lost it 16-14. IHC pick Ancient. They lose it 16-11. And now on our final map, it has certainly come down to all 30 rounds. And IHC are propped up to take it just as close as our opener in the series.
Still a chance of even closer. Blitz going back to Yeo Faithful. It is the mid-aggression. He's good for the one. He's not good for the second. Dobu, quick airstrafe around, will evade Crosshair and finds the equalizer. Now, M4 recovered for him as well. That's definitely going to be helpful as you move forward. NKT are looking to reset and reventure. Where to, you ask? Well, the A-bomb starts looking like the likely destination, but that's temporary.
Even they're not sure.
Yeah.
Started going A, but erkaSt wanted to go back to middle. Or maybe B. What a bold move for Blitz to have gone for, fighting mid-floor in the last round of the game. Let's just go to overtime. Wonder if that's a decision will come back to bite them. This will be one of the times where if they decide to hit this B bomb site, it would actually be rather fruitful. Last time over, they had 3 players in position like we were talking about. Now there's only really the one. Score can try and link up from short, but it would have to deal with this mid lurk that erkaSt has set up.
And I can also just imagine the kind of calls that must be going on for this CT, rather the T side, which is that we need to go faster. We need to go faster. Now, Deep Molotov isn't going to be spreading towards jail. Cabal's got one for free, and he will be allowed to reposition. The player in ladder room will continue to threaten. Score gets the jump up in such a crucial round, but it will not matter. The saved AK to keep it even. A 2-on-2 now with the bomb being planted. Annihilation to move through the smoke has found the gap. He has found the gap. XigN will not know where Annihilation is. Neither does his teammate Dobu. Couldn't end up falling. XigN, however, was watching for a push from short. He'll get the kill that way instead. It is still looking to be disaster for IHC. Techno needs to get this round up, but they're just playing it safe. They were waiting away. They're hiding out, and Dobu will bring it back up to 30. What a way to see this third map go. NKT aren't letting go yet. We have got to a break before we're back for overtime. Overtime for the final opportunity to try and move forward, have a rematch potentially, maybe just a match with a Raft. NKT and IHC are not ready to let this one go yet.
It has been so back and forth, and to think that IHC were leading coming into the second half, and NKT have brought it back, but they've come and been such a force on this T side, but put to their rest in the opening segments of this overtime, down to just 2 players in an instant. 20 seconds elapsed, and it's actually just Mirage, our coach stand-in, that has certainly impressed, but a 1-on-5 is surely too much to ask.
Starts off nicely at the very least, but obviously just a reminder to everyone, this is 12.5k overtime, so it's not even like these kills are necessarily the most meaningful. Op recovered, and that's really what matters. Nice change-up from IHC, and by change-up, I mean they just start to win some more duels initially.
Yeah, went for the double aggressive face into A main. Last time it was Annihilation by himself, and the supportive rifler was a little too far behind. This time they were right on point. Very infrequently that we've seen NKT decide to go for this dry attack over towards the A side, but last time they did it, they got a trio of entries rather quickly.
Oh, Annihilation's able to go ahead and find himself another entry, but Dobu's gone and responded just the same. The problem still is Annihilation's completely locked out of this area. He cannot find a duel to save his life, and well, that's exactly what he needs to do, because Dobu's around the corner, but the no-scope is what lands, and a score comes in from behind. Mirage trades it out, but his trade is temporary. Life is as well. 9. Not much to play for, not much to hope for left over here, but just a clutch attempt in him. 1:10, and the smoke's got enough time for him to cross over as well. So right as it is dissipating, he will be able to move back to CT spawn and try and hold on to this position. Annihilation's actually moved to the under palace area, so he could try and just keep sidelines out, but they're getting so confused in Annihilation. He can't even feel comfortable running in too quickly. 9 has flashed out jungle, and now he's re-navigating.
Oh my god.
9 is playing them like a fiddle right now. 9 is playing them like a fiddle right now. 40 seconds on the clock. Clears out everything. Drop down will have been heard by a Blitz, so information given up to Annihilation. But the problem still is, where is he going to be? Ticket position. Take it up, and Annihilation will still recover the triple for him to give them their 17th, but 9 makes him wonder.
Yeah, I mean, really good effort there from 9. I think that's the final cherry on top would have probably been him making the cap jump onto short, because that would have been outside of earshot for Blitz, and they were so convinced that he was going to head to market. They weren't sure if they got there in time to make sure that wasn't a possibility. They could have been convinced that he was boxed in, but as soon as that sound cue was given up, Annihilation had him dead to rights. Last round of the first half of the overtime here for NKT on the attack, and they've been stopped, quite frankly, moving into OT. The successes of IHC continue to build, and if they get 3 in a row, they struggle to pull up successful defenses in regulation. This is massive for them.
Eye rolls. Still managing to keep himself up to form so far, but I have to say, so far it is erkaSt who's been looking a little bit lost. Although I will say, that is assisted by the fact that his kills are not quite what they should be, as a result of some reconnections in the middle.
Dobu's Lurk gets nothing. Warning shots onto IHC, but the Mirage activation from ladder is well placed. Blitz is dealt with, and Dobu finally gets his kill on A as well. They could re-divert here over towards that A site, because they know they've cut down a couple of defenders.
All's forced to back off over there despite the position behind the smoke, which can be quite favorable, and the bomb can still go over towards his B bomb site. Massive kill, scores demise, and Dobu's found another in the A side as well. Cabal is still completely unsure about where to go, but the T's have got exactly the right call. It is the B bomb site one, and XigN to cover off the retreat. NKT will not let IHC run away with 18.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster if they got 3 in a row on that defensive end, but finally able to find some success, and it comes off the back of a very spread attack. Mirage, Dobu, they got the kills they were hunting for since the start of that round, and finally able to piece it all together. IHC were definitely confused about which of the sides would see priority, but that's because NKT themselves hadn't really made up their minds. It's been a long time since we've seen NKT on the defensive end and IHC on the attack. It's always the thing about overtimes when we have them. Do you remember what you were successful at? IHC rounded out with an 11-4.
Oh! Man is wiping blood off of his toes right now. Lucky that he went for the wood peak instead of the traditional one.
If he was across the window, I think he dies. That is a doornail. See, they're scared about the mid fights as well. They weren't too great for IHC on their T side. Mirage was actually doing a very good job in his position. It was a few of these short splits that were hit and miss. I think we had maybe 2 successful defenses from NKT and 1 that fell by the wayside, but you don't have the same amount of variance that you can rely on in the overtime. Only 3 rounds of play on this side of the map. So fast plays work for IHC, but this time it's a lot more measured, a lot more staggered. Nine will finally break the ceasefire and actually gets the second as well, even jumping off of the ladder and smoke down. He's got the bomb.
Perfect setup for NKT as he's even got a one-way to work for himself with the AK picked up. Heard Annihilation scope around the corner earlier on, so information given up as well. Dobu keeping an eye out for that position from Blades, and it's Cabal to be the only one to find a frag. Annihilation. Position realized. Bomb covered. Flash avoided, but the bunny hops from Annihilation just can't be followed up by a successful shot. That was some sexy movement. Not quite so much the shot.
Yeah, certainly some nice moves, but NKT have tied things back up at 17 a pop. IHC need to find a success here on this T side if we want to guarantee that they move into another overtime. This will be a pivotal round for just a little bit more confidence for either squad. Investing into the AWP is Annihilation as well, and you talked about the 12.5k money. Annihilation would run out of funds for the last round of the half, but a teammate could probably provide.
As long as you're not double lopping, you don't really run out.
Yeah. Some communication needed, but these are professional teams. Don't try this at home. A lot more assertive in the mid control here. Smoke in the window, and they'll try and set somebody up inside of it. No one's actually hovering or holding for this on the NKT squad, but they break down the boost because they fumbled the jump. If somebody was within earshot, they don't want to give that sound cue over. They are committed 2 players within the bomb site. This is a pretty vulnerable looking setup. Yeah, coming up connector, nobody can really contest it. erkaSt in from under balcony will be the first line of defense, but Dobu being plucked out so quickly, and erkaSt doesn't even get a chance to really fire back. It's the dying efforts for a Dink. But a 3-on-5, sorry, as the smoke fades in jungle. Oh, Mirage also dealt with the full flash onto Blitz. He gets it while blind and running, but XigN wasn't detected, nor was he accounted for. It didn't even matter. IHC gets to 18 first, so at least guaranteeing themselves a lifeline moving into this next round. NKT need this one to force another OT.
So crucial to be able to find those entry kills as you start to head in towards that A-bomb site. It's something which they haven't always had success with on NKT, but after that second half, you're expecting, okay, form's looking pretty good overall. They should be able to start to clean some of this up, but no, not quite. Dobu, now he's the one on that opportunity, will be able to find the first one. Looking to connect for another one. There's already such a fast progression out. Even faster flick from Nobu, though, to catch them out and off. Cabal finally trades it, but is it going to be too little too late? There's a gap in the smoke, and Nine can cover it off, but a quick scope is what collects upon Cabal. IHC are not looking to close it out over here. Not yet. No, sirree.
Ain't over till it's over. These are two heavy hitters. Blitz and Annihilation have certainly recovered rounds before. They've brought it down to just these three remaining here on NKT. If erkaSt is accounted for, they could certainly make use of it, but no. Blitz unaware, and Annihilation will be able to trade things out. He's now up to 30, but he's got Bomb on back, and he has access to a potential B-side play. That's what Nine's trying to cut off in eventuality. Will Zine pull off something similar, and this would be a hell of a round to do it. Annihilation could even just go all the way to that B-bomb site. He's expecting somebody to cut him off, but nobody's there. And the longer he takes, the more NKT are going to start to piece this one together.
NKT, however, are going for information rather than actually foraying back towards that B-bomb site. They would rather have the surety and then play 2-on-1. But now Nine's made the call. Nine's call might be too late, though. Bomb has been planted. Nine's is so noisy in his move back over to the bomb site. Surely Annihilation knows this, but he doesn't realize that Nine could have moved into the site already. Annihilation caught with the back turn. Oh, now Nine pulls out the AWP. Annihilation knows exactly what's going on over here. Annihilation peeks into him, but Nine will persevere. Oh, my days. What a way to go to a second overtime.
Oh, Nine didn't make it easy on himself, did he? I mean, I fully understand it as well. CZ at that distance, you probably don't trust it to shoot straight. But just the timing of the turnaround there for Annihilation really gave him a chance at it. These are devastatingly close. We go again. We reset. No easy victors between NKT and IHC. This is a regional rivalry, but IHC usually come out on top. And this one is dangerously close.
No secondary up this time for Dobu to try and get those 2 early kills with, but at the same time, no fast play from IHC that would have afforded it to him anyway. Boost up on the B-bomb side is a change-up. This is not something we've seen so far. NKT are really digging deep into their playbook.
I hope Zine can take all the attention. Not seeing too many early B-side aggressive moves here from IHC. The opening segments of regulation, perhaps. They really tried to punish the coach, but he's putting up some considerable numbers, like both him and Zine have been, so maybe more A biased because of it. Oh goodness, Blitz went through the smoke and found his angle onto Nine. Thought he was safe for just a moment, but that smoke is so detrimental. Able to get those 2 kills, and there's 2 in response. But they've got access to this B-bomb site now because they rotated on NKT.
Zion's going to be the one closest to it, but this is always that internal struggle. Do I wait for my teammates, or do I try to commit and find a timing? None of those options really seem to be likely to give them too much to work off of. Annihilation double scoped in, and he's not about to miss that shot. Dobu and erkaSt. Has to be a full retake without any utility. That would be a fantastic way to start Cabal's demise. Unfortunately, it is straight and swiftly. Annihilation very well aware about the antics that the CTs are trying to get themselves into a triple to end it up to 33 kills now.
Yeah, he's had a stormer of a performance, hasn't he? Dobu's on 30 himself, but been uphill battles all the way through. NKT were so far behind to have brought it to overtime. It felt like an impossibility, but when they got there, IHC have really started to turn up to another level themselves. Drop from erkaSt was heard. I think Score knows that there's somebody in the underpass, so Cabal is keeping very hyper-focused on it and wants to try and take this fight himself. Yeah, erkaSt. Cabal came around swinging and pre-firing for the fight. A lot of damage for the duel, but they're just happy with a man advantage. Dobu brought low himself.
I'll take him down, though.
Dealt with. Don't even know where XigN spammed him from.
I am assuming it is just a
Apartments push.
Yeah, just
perhaps?
probably just the kitchen, like apartments kitchen one. Tricky position to deal with from 9 as he is playing close to the staircases, but Score will take him down immediately. In the process of avoiding flashes, he loses his crosshair out. Deep nade could even... Okay, it doesn't go that deep, but thought it might be taking down Dobu. Blitz is low, but he is still such a menace. He's got so much room to work off of, and he's got a player who can trade him out quickly, but Score is gone. XigN's found the player who's supposed to be trading, and now with Blitz being low, if you can just take him down, this is a completely different round. Smoked out, Dobu's gone. In the meanwhile, Annihilation is just getting aggressive. Finally eliminated himself, but it's a one-on-one. Blitz, being as low as he is, will just have to commit. The bomb defuse coming through. Blitz can't quite find the spam till the very last instant. Bomb pop will take him with it, but he is A-okay.
Yeah, more than satisfied that he's been able to get that one to go his way, because not too long ago, I mean, we're calling back actually quite far. Blitz had a defuse stolen away from him by Dobu on the other side on the B-bomb site. Similar circumstances, and this time it doesn't fall away. I'd see 2 rounds on this T side. Something that they've struggled to accomplish on their first half of overtime. The first overtime. Now it's all about whether they can swap onto the CT side and have success there as well. Getting 3 in a row would certainly put NKT under a lot of pressure. Annihilation just continues to strike true.
Chomp pass as well. erkaSt still undetected right next to that connector smoke. Can they? Oh no, they dropped the bomb as they don't check the angle appropriately. Could have been anyone there. erkaSt is now even going back inside the connector. This man, he is a menace, although one that will be quickly dealt with. Score not having any of it. Deep Molotov does come through, but it's not deep enough to keep Mirage off the Palace angle. And as he is straight in, and Score thought that there would be an opportunity to try and punish. However, ends up falling anyway. XigN lined up with this with the bomb. Not quite deliver the spam, but 9 in the meanwhile is still good for it. NKT once again preventing IHC from getting that magic 3 unless Annihilation's got a 30-second 1-on-2 in it.
Giving him room, letting him get that bomb down, and won't feel too safe about it. Has to try and commit to something and realizes maybe that short player has vacated. They're doubling together. They're trying to trade this up, and Annihilation is getting some distance.
This could very well be the perfect play for him to have made. He is scoped in. Spots out the 9, but he can't do much about it. 9's trade is perfect. With XigN's demise, he had no room to breathe whatsoever. A 1v2 attempt from Annihilation that you have to appreciate. And he does everything perfectly. Some deals you just can't win.
Man, if 9 missed even slightly, very likely this round is just won by Annihilation. Could play the bomb from there, but super fast and some crucial kills for 9 to have hit. He gives 9KT a fighting chance. The overtime is unrelenting. Certainly unforgiving as well. I mean, both these teams struggle to get rounds on their CT side. So being knocked down by 2 pegs of the IHC attack is not something that they're unfamiliar with. But considering IHC also had 2 successful defenses last time over, you have to worry whether NKT are going to struggle to get more success on this T side. They need 2. That's the minimum.
That's also what IHC is telling themselves, in all fairness. We need 2. That's the minimum. Annihilation is off to a good start.
He has really just been a force to be reckoned with this entire series. again, but it will be a swing and a miss. Annihilation actually doesn't want to give up this control. Dobu will give him the duel, and Annihilation didn't react quite quick enough. Didn't think they'd have the audacity to re-swing into him.
Ooh.
Cabal, this is dangerous.
He has realized it, and as he's now starting to back off, Blitz has found 9. Cabal will need to deal with erkaSt and fast, but erkaSt is going to be able to recover it regardless. As he starts to move back over towards the B-bomb site, the read is perfect. Oh, the read is perfect. However, still have to move past score. Techno, one-way smoke to try and help out in the duel against him will open up that A-bomb site. Still a 2-on-2. Blitz and company clearing out the B-bomb site, just making sure, but they're about to be given a rude awakening to the location of this bomb regardless.
Yeah, smooth moves from Dobu as well to get the bomb over to this site as fast as humanly possible. IHC are left in the dust. We'll be on score and Blitz to try and retake this, but they're so far away from this site. There is a kid on Blitz and certainly one to be recovered as well, for score if need be, but they're sitting within the site and ready to defend this. Oh, wow.
Just a quick peek out from Dobu. It is the quad kill for him. Time to step up was upon him. A lot of questions asked about him in the first 2 maps, but this is the guy you need to have on the server. He and Annihilation, both from either side, are just delivering a different kind of performance.
Yeah, and Dobu, I mean, the swings and the fights that he was taking to make this as contestable as it was, always kept NKT competitive. Great that he ends up on a double kill, but yeah, we are seeing a battle of stars at the moment. It's not so top-heavy that teammates aren't even close to their score lines, but in the rounds that have mattered, that's where we've seen both Dobu and Annihilation have some significant influence. No mistakes. None are allowed. Blitz will force an error. erkaSt. Solo investigation to the underpass because he wanted to link up with his top mid players, but they are nowhere near enough to punish Blitz on that swing. Wow, run boost out. That wasn't even really the angle that Nine was hoping to fight for, but Score was still caught unaware.
Mine is hard scope forward Blitz.
Didn't see him.
They're so aware about the possibility of Blitz being in connector after that one round where he just destroyed all of them. Mine is just hoping that he doesn't get flanked off by them. And there you have it. Blitz finds himself massively punished.
Oh.
Cabal is next to meet that same fate. Annihilation, Techno, gonna have to save.
Yeah, Cabal had ants in his pants there. Started to think about the short pressure and was caught moving away from his initial spot. It felt like NKT were about to maybe fall into his arms, jumping out of apartments, but still very likely that he falls on that site. Just would have made that IHC maybe have a chance to come in for this retake, but NKT get to 21 first. Yeah, it's so important that they hold onto these weapons because managing another AWP into the fallout round would have required some shenanigans. Or have Blitz drop it over and then miss out on a bit of utility, but they don't have to make that consolation. They'll have everything they need to fight back. NKT are this close to eliminating IHC from the ESL Challenger League playoffs in Asia.
Problem is, IHC is equally close to giving themselves a longer lease in life. This has been the story all throughout, but NKT generally wants to be chasing after IHC instead. Now, just a bit of a turnaround, but not in middle. Never in middle. Annihilation is a one-dimensional man. To say he puts you in the next life. Now, he himself has also gone and company. He's polite about that.
Going 1 for 1. This will be an isolated duel here for Dobu. The player over at the ticket booth wasn't really prepared to take the fight. Oh, taps will not connect. IHC have got themselves into a very significant lead here. 4-on-3. It doesn't seem like there's too much in it, but now extra info on erkaSt as well as the dink to follow it up. Score might be trapped here. Oh, a sandwich between flames, but somehow still goes by unscathed. All the damage was done through the vent.
Creep through.
Oh, this is the
Blitz
bomb.
could end up finding him, but no. Thought for a second Sign would have turned around because he looked like he was interested in checking the back lines. IHC are not done yet, Michael. Mirage, we've praised him so many times over, but this is just a different kind of talent ahead of him. This is just a different kind of feat that he has to accomplish. 21-21. We've got to go to a break before we can continue on with this unrelenting action. And we decide against it.
Oh, wow.
Why would we want to break?
Yeah, you know what? We just want this action to continue. And who doesn't? I mean, the fact that we have such a good bout between these two squads where we know we're building it up as this rivalry, to see that neither of them are willing to even give an inch. You know, NKT, they need other opportunities. IHC, they've been eating good. They have been at a lot of separate events. They've drawn a lot of international attention. People are paying attention, I think, more to the Mongolian scene than they ever have before because they broke into the major cycle where previous teams had failed. And to have them be represented and actually still tested by an NKT that have been going through roster changes, you know, erkaSt in-game leading swap. We have a coach that now steps in over MYM in my roles, who apparently can still frag just as good as any of his players. These are all good signs to see from NKT, who have been in a bit of rough shape recently, losing to a lot of the top Chinese teams and IHC alike.
I'd not count any chickens though, because hell, by the time this game is over, they may have hatched, laid more eggs, hatched again, and then laid more eggs, and then we're waiting to see how many hatch.
Great grand chickens.
Indeed. Multiple generations. And right now we are witnessing a match that they would all be fortunate to have lived through. Dobu has died through it. Main man himself, and with the Molotov in the hands of 9, he is very lucky to have skirted death. Now, skirting away is also erkaSt, but the problem is there's one man who never, ever lets go of vigilance down in mid. That is Annihilation. He is on 41 kills, Michael. Almost 1 KPR across 42 rounds.
I know. It is mental to think that. And he still has other opportunities to make sure that he's on track. Annihilation, jump spot, spots him, and oh, well, Cabal will instead seal the deal. 22-21. First ice broken here in our third overtime. NKT getting picked apart by the aggression. And really, I mean, this is the thing. We've been highlighting so much about what Annihilation has done, but Blitz has been honestly just a hard player to play against, you can imagine. He's been so aggressive on the mid fights. This time he goes all the way through the underpass and gets into such a forward location that they're still checking for, but who else but Blitz could have the bravado to be in those spots?
I mean, speaking of bravado, Dobu's just not afraid of that fire at all. Oh, the timing. For once, it has failed him. Still an opportunity given up to try and re-peek it. It's 9 to be meeting his demise. Annihilation has been getting the better of that duel continually. Now it's all about Blitz, still undetected.
Never expect him here.
Absolutely, they shouldn't be. Still completely undetected. Bombs being planted. Dobu should be going down. 1 kill character. He makes that too. Blitz has given IHC the chance at clutching for 23. A 2-on-4 attempt. erkaSt starts off with some sharp shots, and XigN, well, he is still yet to commit. Position revealed. erkaSt moves through, but then it's unbroken. The murder hole, they know it. And the CTs have navigated away from underneath Ballast. This is where Zion's got a lot more room to work off of, but Score's demise means it's back to a 2v2. The game is on, Annihilation's vision is gone. Will not be getting up close on top of the ticket booth this time over a secondary flash, and Zion is still trying to crouch forward. The timing! Looked like he had it, but instead he's using it as a distraction. Annihilation. Oh, Annihilation! Blitz just swings out at the second he hears that sound cue. Knew there was already a Molotov out. Zion could not do anything about it. 23 rounds for IHC, but erkaSt really does go ahead and give them a chance for it.
How many times are you going to see that? Just players stacked on top of each other for the entirety of the round. Blitz, I mean, I talked about him being annoying. He's been in so many different positions. They were never expecting him at the firebox because he's not typically there on the A-side defense. He just happened to insert himself exactly where NKT were headed, and he makes sure to be a problem throughout all of that affair. NKT were running out of time, weirdly enough, and they attacked before the minute mark.
Gosh, man, I mean, the fact that Zion isn't able to find the kill on the Blitz is just what seals the deal there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, bit of desperation coming into NKT steps, perhaps, with Mirage also having been naded down early in. Oh, beautiful. Mirage, the trade is there, but it will not matter. Man advantage still maintained. Techno through the smoke. I don't know what gods they pray to, but it's working. erkaSt. Always the man to try and give them a chance. Always the man left to try and make something out of nothing. Deep flashbang to keep Annihilation away. They know that he's likely still over at CT. Zion is just taking the plant. He is taking it. Attempts made from Cabal. This time their prayers unanswered. Annihilation still trying to get aggressive. Zion is gone. erkaSt now has to try and come through. So many clutch rounds that he has been heartbroken in. That he's been left behind. He could be anywhere. They have to check everything. And he knows it as well as anyone else does. So hard committed. So hard committed. It's the first duel. Annihilation is sticking it. Annihilation is sticking it. The 24th round. Finally. 3 in a row. Oh, Annihilation. You will never fail to impress. Not in this series at the very least.
Man, but what a save by Techno for that round. I mean, sure, Annihilation's hitting all these shots, but they don't have a chance if Techno doesn't find these 2 kills through smoke. Like, that's a miracle for IHC. And like you said, they get all 3 they need to on the defensive end. That was where their struggles persisted. Purely on the attack, there's not much that can go wrong from here on out. NKT are really, really going to feel the pressure now. I mean, Annihilation has gotten a kill every single round, or he's gotten that 1 kill per round average. I've seen many multis from him.
He's also died on average once every 2 rounds. That's kind of insane.
We're getting to kill scores where we're forgetting about regulation. You might have done all that hard work at the start, but you're all in the same boat now. Maybe not for NKT. They trail 3 rounds behind, and they cannot afford anything to go wrong. Flash is good enough to partial blind Dobu, so the fight's not quite so fair. Blitz didn't have his gun out, but able to recover in time, and that's the opener that IHC were really hoping for. Might end up as nightmare fuel here for NKT to be so close yet so far.
Nine is moving past. And he has at least found an angle where he's playing a little bit closer. There is supportive utility available, but Nine's gone. Bomb is down. Yes, absolutely. And in the meanwhile, erkaSt. Oh, what a trade from Annihilation. He turns around and no scopes in the back. That's a bomb recovered as well. IHC will be victorious. What a way to win that round.
It is so so ridiculous. There's so much happening all simultaneously because erkaSt was flanking from behind them in T-spawn. He got the bomb, and then Annihilation's able to no-scope him, but they're still fighting for it on the bomb site. I mean, there were so many clutch rounds throughout this entire game. That's why we had so many